Hey guys, this is me, Dave, and welcome back to week 32 of building Mandalore. Good to be back, guys. We took a 2-week break. Basically, the reason why I delayed Mandalore last week is I needed a key bricklink order that did come this week. And what I ended up doing and promising you guys is the fact that we're going to make this a double episode. So we're going to get twice as much as I usually would get done in 2 separate weeks. What that means is a ton of building, and I'm not exaggerating when I say we're going to get the back finished today, and I'm really freaking excited to say that because that means next week we're going to work on the very last thing that needs to be done. At least that's what I think that needs to be done, which is Duchess's Palace. Now, the reason why I say I think is because next week is also the first of the Siege of Mandalore episodes to be premiered. There's 4 episodes. We're in the last 4 episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 7 finale, which is what obviously I've been building towards, is to get to these episodes so I can finally make sure the mock is accurate to the episodes, or at least somewhat. So hopefully there isn't anything crazy that needs to be added to the mock last minute. I'm hoping that I'll have everything as it is, that can just be slightly modified rather than having to build like a whole new section, basically. So we'll see what happens next week with these new episodes. I'm really excited. Guys, you're in for a doozy. This is going to be a long segment. So without ado, let's go ahead and jump into this week's segment right now. So kicking this week off, guys, as you can see, tons of parts came in from Bricklink. Big shout out to my boy Justin from Brick Vibe. I'll link his Bricklink store down below for getting all of this in a very timely manner. I really appreciate that. A lot of different parts going on here. Got some more of those blue bricks we're using for the window pieces. These 3x3 plates will be used for actually lighting purposes. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a few minutes. And then the most amount of parts here are these panels. So this is my new favorite part right here. You guys might have noticed I was using it a lot in last week's segment, and we're definitely going to be using it again in this week's segment. Lastly, I got this Lego Star Wars character encyclopedia, and I'm sure a lot of you are like, David, what do you need this for? I don't need it. I mean, I pretty much know everything about these characters in here. The real reason I picked up this book that came out this week is the fact that you get this right here, this exclusive Darth Maul that so happens to be based off Solo, a Star Wars movie, and a Star Wars story, excuse me, and on top of that, this Darth Maul looks pretty identical to the Siege of Mandalore Darth Maul. All things considered, they're both, crime lords, so it kind of makes sense that they look about the same from Solo to Clone Wars, at least at the end of the Clone Wars. So let's go ahead and get this minifigure out of here, because I'm actually really curious to see what it looks like. So here's the Darth Maul minifigure, and unfortunately, I may have gotten a misprint. If you look at his eye there, especially the, I guess the left eye for you guys, looks a little misprinted to me, so it's kind of an even scarier looking Darth Maul, but maybe I can get a replacement head from Lego or something. I'll look into that, but at least his body, his torso here looks so good. You can see he has the Crimson Dawn medallion on his chest, which is really cool. And then he also has, it's like the, I want to say it's like the metallic dark silver legs. It's not black, so I really like that. So yeah, you can see the printing right there, and he's even got some foot printing. So I absolutely love the body here. I just wish we had a good head, a proper printed head, but that's unfortunate. But at least he has the hoodie. That's really cool. It's very accurate to Solo. It's actually accurate to Clone Wars too. After the 8th episode of Clone Wars Season 7, he also had a hoodie on in that as well. So very cool. So last week we were working on this area. This is the big wall we were making. It only went up to here because we kind of ran out of these panel pieces right here. So kind of the idea is to build this all the way up to at least this height, cover up all this, and to build 2 more wall sections, I guess about the same size as these gray base plates. I want 1 wall section here, 1 wall section here, and then we'll kind of play it by ear for what's going to cover up this over here. So we're going to get the walls done first, and then we'll worry about the floor here later. It's been a while since we've done a time-lapse, so I think it'd be really cool to bring that back. So without ado, guys, let's get to the time-lapse where we're going to be building giant walls. Coming off that time lapse, guys, man, did this wall turn out way better than I had anticipated. It is also huge, like really, really big. I don't know if my camera does justice, but I mean, you can kind of tell the size with the shells behind. I mean, there's an AT-AT. This is not even the normal set. This is my custom AT-AT, AT-ACT. This thing's humongous. And I'm actually, you know, it looks a little wobbly, but believe it or not, it's pretty sturdy. I'm pretty happy with it. And then also, you'll notice lighting in all three of the different window panels. I'm very, very happy with this. Again, Light My Brix, big shout out to them. They're supplying the lighting for all of this, for all of Mandalore. This is by far my favorite thing that I'm using in terms of actual lights is these white strip lights. They come in a 4-pack. These attach onto 1x6 plates right here. So works very, very well within the MOC. And then those kind of connect into these 3x3 plates. So it all works very well. And then I also have a flicker module. That's how we're getting that flickering effect. You know, it's a battle. You know, the electricity is kind of going in and out. So that's why this will be sitting next to that other wall we're building next week. It'll make more sense soon. But that's why I think it'll work with no lights in that. You know, it's kind of like some lights are working, some aren't. I think that's kind of the effect we're going to go for. But I'm very, very happy with it. I really like this window. This is my favorite pattern. I did try a new pattern out right here, just for, you know, why not? And then just another, again, little small window down there. Coming around the back, it looks a little bit different, that's for sure. You can see kind of the technique I went in terms of building it. Now, key thing is if you're going to use panel pieces like these, they tend to want to slope usually like, I guess, the opposite direction from the flat side. So what you have to do in terms of compensation for the sloping effect, so basically they want to slope this way. And what you do is just add supports. So I just have a billion of these right here. I guess they're 2x3x2 slopes, something like that. And I'm just using it because that's just what I have on hand. You can use anything. It doesn't have to even be the same color. As you see, I have some red bricks in the back here as well. But I just have these as support to hold up, obviously, the blue bricks, the clear bricks, and all that. But it also acts as a support to kind of hold back the wall from warping a certain way. So it actually ends up working very well. Again, I'm very happy with this. We're going to have to make one more of these today, so that's going to be another challenge. But I'm actually really enjoying building these. This is a lot of fun. So now I just want to see what this looks like inside the MOC, and then we'll get to the second one. Okay, so I have our new wall now installed here on the backside of the MOC. Boy, it's looking really good. It looks great next to our other wall that we had made in the previous week. Went ahead and put another one of these columns right here. There's actually a little gap between the two walls, so it actually worked out perfectly because it adds more consistency anyways, so it just worked out that way. In terms of actually installing the wall, it's actually just sitting on these supports down here. I'm also using the 1x4 tiles with just one studs on each side because that makes it easier to attach. Otherwise, it would kind of crumble if you tried to put all this weight and try to attach it with just a bunch of studs everywhere. So that was that turned out pretty well, and it's actually pretty sturdy. Doesn't feel like it's gonna fall down. Regardless, once I build like some stairs right here, there's gonna be like kind of that brace that keeps it from falling. But right now it's fine. I'm pretty comfortable with how it's being held up right now, so I'm not too worried about that. This wall will come up further. We'll actually probably build it a little bit higher. So we'll probably put the final height maybe right about here. I don't know. We'll see. It just kind of depends. I obviously would like to go up to the top here of at least this white. But the thing is that I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of panels, but I don't know if I have enough panels to not only build this wall, but then to also completely fill in this area. Not sure. We'll just have to play it by ear and see what happens. The other thing is I did connect the wiring. So you can see here I have my lights from Light My Brix coming into this little circuit board right here. It's being connected. That kind of was routed into all of this. So when I flip the switch here,
these lights come on. So these are the lights we were working on a few weeks ago. But now these are also connected and on as well. So it looks so good all together. I can't wait to put in one more wall right here and just really complete this whole thing with the lighting. Now, to make it more consistent, when we build this next wall right here, I will probably leave at least one window panel without any lights to make it consistent with the fact that this particular wall doesn't have any lighting in it. So that way it kind of blends together. You know, we have some flickering here, we have some flickering here, we'll have some off lights here. So it all just kind of blend together, kind of mix and match everything. And I think it'll end up working very well. So now let's go ahead and head back into another time lapse, build this next wall, and get this looking really nice, guys. Okay, so I've got my microphone under control now, and I also have the second wall that we've built today installed. It looks really good. I think it works very well with what we just built, as well as the previous wall from last week. I think the only thing that maybe bothers me is that this window is a little offset to this one. I'm sure some people will be bothered by that, but the idea is that this window is like the opposite of this one. I don't know. That's what I was thinking. I also like this. This actually turned out very well. The kind of randomness of these smaller windows. Normally we have them, basically vertically aligned. And I like this. I think it works. I think it changes it up. So it looks even better though. Turn those lights on. Check that out, guys. I'm very happy with the way that looks. Oh man. What an accomplishment seeing all of this together now. I intentionally left lights out of these windows, like I said, because I wanted to blend it all together here with the fact that we don't have lights in these. So it would make sense that like you have, blinking lights here that are, about to turn off. You have normal lights, you have no lights, no lights. So I think it all kind of works together as you're coming down this way. It's like coming back and forth, whether it's battle damage or whether it's not, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it can work as is. I don't think I need to go in here and install more lights, but regardless, I am very happy with the lighting that I have done so far. I think this looks really solid. I can't wait to put in the flooring here in a few minutes. But the next thing I want to do is actually just continue building this up here and seeing how far we can exactly get with that. And then I also want to start go ahead and just fill in this area as well, get that all taken care of. So that way we can focus on just finishing up this area and then getting done with this episode. So let's see what that looks like, guys. And here it is, guys. I fully covered up all of the top areas of this wall over here. I've got this area all covered up now. Looks so much drastically better on the back side now once you cover it all up. I never, for the longest time during this mock, I didn't think we were going to cover up the back area, but we did. It didn't get quite up to as high as maybe as I wanted to, but it's enough where it covers most of the colors. You still see a little bit over here, but again, not a huge difference. I mean, it's mostly gray except for just that one little part right there. Not a big deal, especially, to get down to here. You look at kind of the bigger perspective here, I think that looks just fine. For the longest time, I didn't think we were going to cover this back wall up because it was just so big. And we did it. So I'm really, really happy with myself. And thank you guys for pushing me to get to this point. This is looking phenomenal with all the lights now. Like, look how great this looks. I'm so happy. Now, I'm sure a lot of you be like, oh, you got this battle damage, and then it's all perfect here, and then it's really nice over here. So I think what we can say is maybe like a gunship was like shooting up this area. This is where a whole bunch of Darth Maul's forces were, and the battle is just kind of beginning over here. You know, we can create like a story with why it's more damaged over here than it is here, or even up here. Now, the reason why these parts right here are exposed with some bricks is you can actually see this Technic beam in there. I couldn't remove that because it's holding these two walls together. Then there was just this random brick that was sticking out right there, so I just kind of made do with some little bit of damage there and there, but I mean, I think it still works. I'm really happy with it. But yeah, so it's looking pretty solid. This area I'm still not done with. I might do a little bit more work here. I don't like how the black's kind of facing. I don't really like the Technic. So I think I'm going to do a little bit more here. Not today, but just sometime, maybe when we get to the finale, I'll just finish up this area. But it's not really important. It looks really good on the back now. The last thing I want to do now is to build this platform right here, and I'm actually going to show you the design that I was prototyping here in just a second. The other thing I was working on is I have two more walls that are actually the same on both sides, and the reason why I built these walls is if we go out here, I'll put this down right here, we go out to the outside of Mandalore. We haven't really seen it in a while. It's kind of being used as a staging ground for parts. I've also had to use some window pieces. Those will be replaced, but anyhow, if we look on the outside of Mandalore, we still had this area and over there exposed because we're gonna put a roof. I'm still kind of sure we're gonna put a roof here, and so we'd have these exposed areas, and especially now that we have this wall peeking out here, I wanted to add in another wall. So that's kind of like what I was thinking. So this is just gonna connect in like that. It'll actually be spaced a little bit more like that, and we're gonna do the same on the other side over there. I'm not sure we'll get to actually adding it today, but it's built now, so all I have to do is add it. That's something we can do probably next week. It's not something important that needs to be done today. What does need to be done is this area, so let me show you what I've been working on for that. So something I've really been wanting to do is to create a platform on the backside, especially with angled stairs. That's something I saw when I was analyzing Mandalore, is that there was a lot of angled stair platforms. And so that's something I've really wanted to try and add. And so this was my first prototype right here. It didn't quite work because when you try to take wedge plate pieces, it didn't quite line up. So this technique worked really a lot easier when the whole stair piece is one contained thing. Add it to a hinge piece, it actually works really well. It's just one of these pieces underneath right here, and then with these added pieces, so it's gonna look really good. I actually really like the way this stair piece turned out, but as you guys can see, I had to go from one prototype to the other, but really like this design. So let's go ahead and implement this into that final area and get everything together. And here it is, guys. I have fully completed all of this down here, and we actually have the sunset reflecting on these back walls that we were working on earlier. Really looks gorgeous. It's not going to last long, so I'm glad we're getting just a quick shot of that right now. That is just so absolutely stunning. We have a window right here. I normally keep this closed pretty much all the time, but because now it's fully finished down here, I wanted to go ahead and open it up. So yeah, really, really pretty with that window light. It actually makes this whole MOC look completely different with the window light. But it looks so good now that I was able to get rid of a lot of the bins here, and the floor is clear, and there's not a seat in the way. I can actually move around properly. I can actually sit down on this windowsill and show you guys things. But first off, you might notice two things. This is the area obviously we just put together. So this is my little platform. This is the design I was just showing. And I gotta say, it turned out even better than I imagined. So we have 4 little staircases on each side here, kind of going up, and they're all at 45-degree angles. And again, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Now, this is not final. The platform itself is done, but I do want to add some little trees. It'll be the same trees I actually put in the courtyard on the other side, but I want to add some little trees on either side of here. So it's not 100% done, but in terms of the platform itself, that is complete. Then I went ahead and tiled all of this over here, and I enjoyed the staircase design so much that I was like, you know what? I was thinking about just like doing something really simple with just a normal built-in kind of stairs with what we kind of did over here. But I was like, I really love the angled stairs that we were doing here. I was like, let me continue that. And that is what you're seeing right here. And good gosh, that looks so good. It was, I couldn't have done it any better. Like, it just perfectly works with what we were working on with all of these columns over here. It looks like it's meant to be. The colors work perfectly. I think the staircase looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really happy with it. At the top there, we have Darth Maul minifigure, the one from the encyclopedia. I put a hoodie, and I used the dark black cape from one of the Mandalorians from the Mandalorian Battle Pack. So that looks really good as well, because in the episode that just came out today, or yesterday, was the 8th episode of the final season of Clone Wars, and you see a hologram Darth Maul. He has the hoodie on, and I was like, oh well, let's have that let's have that go on in my mock. So I think that was a nice little touch, and again, it just really works, really blends in with everything. I just really like this angled staircase. I'm just very happy with it. Now it's a little blank in some areas. Obviously, there's some, certain areas that could use a little bit, but trust me, once we add minifigures, and I'm also going to be building some like bins and boxes and crates that will also be little additional things that we will make in the finale. So don't worry if you're wondering if it's a little too blank for your taste. Don't worry, we're going to have some more stuff happening for that. So I'm really excited. Now, the last thing, obviously, you might have noticed it. I was able to fit an ATTE back here, so that's really exciting. This battle that you're seeing, it's not the final battle, but I did want to add the minifigures and everything just to give you perspective of how big what we've been working on today is. Like, that's the ATTE. So if some of you out there have that set, I hope you have a better perspective of just how massive this back wall is. Like, the ATTE looks tiny. Looks almost pathetic. It's so tiny. No, I'm just kidding. It's a good size set. This is the 2013 version, I believe, and this one's actually smaller than the 2008 one, and it actually is in my benefit because it fits better in the mock, and I think it looks really good. And then it also works well with the fact that, again, so the idea is that you have the offense forces, the Republic who's invading, and then you have the defense, or obviously Darth Maul's clan, being on Mandalore. So I think it works really well. I think now that we have minifigures, it kind of makes more sense with why there's more damage maybe this way and not as much over here. I think that can work if we look at it that way. All right, one more thing. I don't have the lights on right now. You may have noticed. That's because I was sneaky with how I am able to turn the lights on. It's right here, actually. So if we take this, it actually... sorry, ATRT. Or no, it was Ahsoka. My bad. Sorry, Ahsoka. If we take that off, you'll see here, you just got to plug it in. Like that. And flip the switch. There we go. Got our lights on again. Again, this is really neat. I'm really happy. You can actually see how I built the platform now. But I'm really happy with how this works. It just kind of slides in like that. And it'll snap down. Sorry, Ahsoka. I feel bad for you. We'll just put Ahsoka over here. Yeah, there we go. So now we have the lights on. And again, this whole thing looks even better, different. I don't know. I love it. Especially you have the window light, the flickering window light right next to Darth Maul. Like, that looks so good. I didn't even plan that out. But he's like so upset. He's like, oh my God, we're losing. And he's like getting upset. And then the force is affecting the lighting around him. You could look at it that way. So I'm having a blast with this, guys. I'm so thrilled that now we can say this whole back area is pretty much complete. And I think, man, the lighting just adds so much to what we've been working on down here. But yeah, this looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait. Again, not the final battle. In the finale, we'll have even more going on. So yeah, it's just so exciting. This looks so unbelievably good, guys. That's going to be it. So let's go ahead and head on out.
All right, so how was that, guys? I absolutely... Boy, does the back look great. I am so thrilled. We are finally done with the back. I can't say that enough. I thought that wouldn't ever end, but we're done now. There is a few modifications that I want to make on the back wall. Obviously, I want to add some little details with boxes and crates, little things like that. That can all be done once we get to the finale. That's usually what we end up doing in the finales, adding all those last minute details to really bring the MOC to that just higher level. So I'm really, really excited about that. Next week, we are working on Duchess's or Satine's Palace, which you can definitely see from Clone Wars Season 7. There's going to be what looks to be a very awesome duel between Ahsoka and Darth Maul, so it's very important that I bring that to the MOC. I'm not sure how big it will be. I don't want to promise anything in terms of scale, but it will be going above where we were working on those prison cells a couple weeks ago. And then on top of that, we are coming towards the finale now. I want to wait until Star Wars The Clone Wars is done. I was hoping maybe we could do it like May the 4th and put the finale out on that day. But I'd rather wait an extra week, see the very final episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars before I go ahead and do the finale for this MOC, because we are really close to being done. There are some things to be done in the front, some last minute details and columns that need to be made at the very front courtyard. There's some trees to be made. Obviously Duchess's Palace, but all that will really come together again, I'll say this one more time, in the finale. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. It will be a very big finale once we get to it. But I'd say Duchess's Palace should take about 2 or 3 weeks. So we're looking, it's week 32. So week 35 should be the final week, and then we should be on to the finale after that. And when it comes time to the finale, I'll probably end up taking a 2 or 3 week break, because that'll be a very, very long episode. We're talking a 50-minute finale. So I'm really excited about that. All right, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. I got some really cool content, not only coming on this channel, but on my newly announced vlog channel. So I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys have a great, wonderful day. Bye-bye.